So today, like I said, we continue from here. What is statistics? Statistics can be defined as a measurement, as a management tools for making decisions. We all know this. Now, one of the things we need to know is this: management tools. How do we manage our tools? What are the things we are talking about? As an accountant, how do you manage it? As a biz admin person, how do you make decisions? For example, if governor of your state just come to your organization today and you want to know what is happening there, he said, look at the definition. He said, it is also a scientific approach to presentation of numerical information in such a way that one will have a maximum understanding of the reality represented by such information. Now, I'll give us an example. Like I said, if I entered your company, let's say you are working with a particular hotel, and I want to know how many people, for example, I have this. Let's say I have this, and I have this. And I said, how many female do you have in your company? You said, we have 40% female, and we have 60% male. I don't need their names. You don't need to tell me detail too much. I already have the information. Statistics will help you to be able to represent your idea in graph, that is to present them. And these are the things we'll be talking about. For example, let's say this here is 60% for female, said female, and 40% male. So if you are in an organization and they ask you, can you give us the structure? Or can you give us a kind of, you don't need to tell me as a president of a nation to be reading the names of your staff. I don't need to know. All I need to do is for you to tell me that, okay, sir, we have so number in our company. So from there, I will know what you are saying, that, okay, this is the number, because I already see the figure. Please, if you have, please mute yourself, or else you will join those people in waiting room. So now let's move on. Let's move on by saying we will now look at it in different ways of solving it, of representing it. Now that we know that the only favor that we have here is for us to try as much as possible to see the effect of the diagram, effect of the of what we are saying by using the our facilitation and our graph to represent what we actually have. Now, another thing I want us to also check is what is the role of statistics in our society. Please, this particular area, I will just summarize them. Statistics also help government. The government use statistics as a tool for collecting data on economic aggregates, such as national income, saving, consumption, and gross product. For example, whether we like it or not, we are donating every day our data. Everyone, virtually all of us have BVN. Virtually all of us have phone numbers. Virtually all of us have email. You have Twitter accounts. You have so many accounts. These are data. In one way or the other, you are giving them data. They are taking the data, they are taking the sensors one way or the other to be able to actualize what is needed in our society. Any moment from now, they will say, okay, we want to do sensors. Sensors to know how many people are employed, how many people are unemployed, how many people are married, how many people are unmarried. So these are the concepts, these are the things, what is the geographical area? What is the population of Kaduna? What is the population of Enugu? How many people do we have in Bayelsa? How many do we have in Lagos? How many do we have in Oyo? So these are the things, the statistics help us to be able to do that. Now, another basic concept that we need to know is entity. We have variable, we have random variable, we have quantitative variable, we have qualitative variable, we have discrete variable. Now, let's take it one after the other. When we are saying variable, when we are saying entity, this may be person, place, and things on which we make observation. For example, in studying nutrition well-being of pupils in primary school, that is the entity is a pupil in the school. Now, when you are talking about variable, is the characteristic that assume different values for different entity. The weight of pupil in the primary school constitute a variable. That is, you want to know the weight, you want to know the height, you want to know different things about that particular entity that we are talking about. Then we have random variable. The random variable is mathematical expression called a function, which gives a relative frequency of occurrence of the value. That is, when you say value, that the variable can assume. The function is called a probability function, and the variable are the random variable. So for example, if I said let x equals to y, or let x equals to 3, then when we are now talking about probability function on different, when we get to probability, you know better. I will try and explain. Quantitative value are given as numerical quantity. That is what you can count. I can count this one. How many restaurants do we have in Abuja? You can count them. But when we are not saying qualitative, we have different things. You cannot count qualitative. So let's take, you can know the difference. Example of these are colors of fruit. Can you count the color of fruit? No. So you not, but when you are talking about quantitative, you can count them. These are the numerical value. So discrete variable, this part of this, the discrete variable is also a kind of assume the whole number. Example are the number of local government council in a particular state in Nigeria, the number of female students, like I explained the other time. I can have it. The number of female students, let's say the number of female students online now. You can say that. The number of programs, various programs the university is running. So we can have that. So all these things are very important. Now, look at this. A district value variable has interruption between the values. It can assume, for instance, 1 to 2, such as 1.1, 1.11, 1. And so on. We call it interruption. But what about continuous? The continuous one, the continuous variable, from the word continuous. So it simply means that at the continuous one, if I want to weigh something, that both decimal and not decimal values, they are the continuous one. So now, when we are talking about population is a very large number of entity in the study. For those of us that raise up our hands, is there any question, please? Otherwise, lower your hands. Okafo, Lawal Taiwo, Yusuf Jan. Any question, please? Lower your hand, please, so that we can know those people that have questions. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. I believe you can hear me, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, when we're talking about sample, it's part of the population that is selected from a study. Now, I want to collect data from National Assembly. The whole National Assembly, I can take them as my own general population. Why? Because National Assembly is being represented by the whole entire nation. And oh, my focus will be people from Northeast or people from Southeast. So I can select those ones. Remember, I have the population, and I'm now selecting from the population. Now selecting them. These are the samples. Then the random sample can be drawn from the population, such as the result, it is analyzed, maybe used, generalized about the population. So one of the exercise here, which I want everybody to do, is what is the importance of statistics to human activities? What is the importance to human activities? Please, let's take note of that.
Sir, please, I can't see your.
But you cannot see my screen?
Your screen is clear, sir.
It's clear.
Okay,
Yeah,
please check your location.
It's a little bit blurred.
It depends on the phone you are using, or it depends on the network, please. Is it still blurred?
Yes, it's blunt.
I think it's
I'm
due
seeing
to your
clearly
network.
well.
Sir.
What's going on with you people?
Yes,
It's due to your networks, please. It's clear.
Okay, let's continue, please. They said it. Some people say it's not blonde, and I can see clearly here, like you are saying. So, but for today, what I really want to explain to us is that one is just an intro. Anyway, for today, we'll be talking about data. Now, I want to stop here. I want to stop sharing. I want to ask one or two people questions before we continue. So tell me, Mr. Yusuf Jan, Can you lower your hand? Just use lower hand button there. If you cannot mute yourself, I will put you where you belong. Don't worry, I've done that for you. Now, what I will do, I will continue to put you in waiting room. Waiting room means you will continue to miss the class. So if you cannot listen to simple instruction, then you have to pay for it. Now, for some of us, what is data to us? What is data? If you want to answer, just raise up your hands. Don't give me the same definition in your book. Or, okay, if you have it, no problem, but what is data? Johnson, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Data is an information collected in any particular field.
We can't hear you clearly, please. Data is what?
Information collected in a field.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You can mute yourself. Okay, Moshood Olaniyan.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Data can be simply divided. Good morning, sir.
Go ahead.
Data can be simply defined as a collection of values from the population or samples.
From the population or sample, okay?
Yes, sir.
Friday.
Data are statistics or facts that are collected for references or for analysis purposes.
Reference
For analysis purposes.
For analysis purposes. Okay. It's okay. Ngozi. Okay, Temitope.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, it's by gathering information.
Getting information. Okay. Okafo. Unmute yourself and talk. Okay. If you don't use your real name, I can't call you. Please rename yourself. I can see S116. I don't know that. Gift.
Data is a good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma.
Yes, sir. Data is a raw information, not yet processed.
Data is a raw information not yet processed. Okay. Justina, you want to say something?
Yes, data is information, is a collection of information about people.
What about, why is it people? So you can't collect data for any other thing? Must it be from the people?
Not from the people, not only from the people. It can be collection of anything.
Okay. So don't use people next time, because immediately you use people. For example, if I'm doing a project, for example, if I'm a farmer and I'm doing a project, I'm measuring my plants, or you are as an accountant, you are taking a stock, you are still collecting data.
Yes, sir.
Am I communicating now? So
Yes, sir.
Sorry, who is Bose Akinyemi? Bose Akinyemi, please be careful, or else I will remove you from this group. Let me warn you, all the facilitators have access to your email, except if you submitted wrong email. In my class or in my platform, don't share any link. Please, they've defrauded a lot of people because of that. I'm talking from experience. Do not share any link in my class or in my platform. Let the person, let the student go to their platform, go to their course page. All the information about the course they are doing, they are there, except the student is not serious. I don't want agents in my class. Be careful. If you need any GST group or you need anything, please go to that place. Go to the course you registered. None of you send your email to me, but I sent mail to you because I have access to your database. Please be careful of joining groups. If it's not from the National Open University, don't join. Thank you. Okay, Abraham, what is data?
Data is simply an unprocessed information.
Unprocessed information.
Yes, sir.
Now, thank you so much for, who can tell us the difference, the type of data do we have? If you know, just raise up your hand. If you have called you, please lower your hand so that others can also benefit. If I've called you,
I'm here, sir.
okay, I know you are there, but just lower your hand, don't worry. I will call you.
Primary data collected or on behalf of the person or people who are
Okay, thank you, Justina.
Sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
you.
data, we have grouped data and ungrouped data.
Okay, we have group data. Okay, Patience, go ahead.
Yes. Yes, sir. Those are the two data we have, sir.
We have group data and ungrouped data. Okay.
Data. Yes, sir.
That's two data we have.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah. What
Yes,
type
sir.
of data do we have?
We have primary data and secondary data.
We have primary data and secondary data. Okay. Ofera, what type of data do we have? Unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Thank you, sir. Yeah, you just answered my question. We have two types of data, primary data and secondary data.
Then what is primary data?
Primary data is, for example, my date of birth, and I am giving it, I myself, I'm the one giving it to somebody, writing it down. It's a primary data. Or my parents or from the doctor, they are writing that, or going to a community to gather all the information of the people giving them like sensors, all those things are like primary data.
Okay, now let's hear from Vivian. Vivian, Ayahu. Are you there? Olufumilayo.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma. So tell us, what type of data do we have?
We have primary data and we have secondary data.
But what about group data? Excuse me. Somebody raised it. He said we have group data and ungroup data. Why are you saying primary and secondary?
I don't know. I know group data. I think I don't know.
Okay, go ahead with what you know. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. We have according to materials, we have primary data and secondary data. Primary data is data collected on behalf of on behalf of someone. Why secondary data is data that you write down yourself, that you put down by yourself.
You said primary is what?
It's data that is written on behalf of, that is collected on behalf of someone.
And secondary is what?
Is the one you are putting down yourself.
I hope people are getting it. You are wrong. Now, let me call another person. Austin.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. What is the difference between primary data and secondary data?
Sir, primary data are data that is given by the person directly, while secondary data are data that are collected not for the purpose of why it is collected.
Not for the purpose of why it's collected. Okay, I just hear that. Sarah Obo.
Primary and secondary data.
Yes.
The primary data is a data collected on behalf of a person, while the secondary data is a data collected for which the purpose is being collected.
Secondary is for the purpose, right?
Yes.
Just use one word to distinguish them. Who is Grace Bible? Please use your name. I can't be calling Grace Bible because it's not the name of the person. Thank you. Ola.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yeah, primary data are data that are collected on behalf of person. Why secondary data are data that you collect from materials and textbook.
That is the word. Secondary data are the processed data. It's already processed. You don't know anything about it. That is why I said she's wrong the other time. You don't know anything about it. For example, how much are they selling Senate Bank shares today? You quickly go to the newspaper and check. Am I right? Oh, how many people gain admission to enter university today? You go to JAMB website, you check. You are not the one that actually go there and collect it. You don't have any, okay, for example, if I have, which of them do we use questionnaire to collect? Bosse, Abose de Adenike. Abose de Adenike. If you are not talking,
yes,
okay.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma.
I wanted to, yes, sir. I wanted to talk about the primary data before.
Say it. Go ahead.
It is collected on behalf of a person for a specific purpose.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
For a specific purpose. Can you give us an example?
Like about particular age. If you want to get a age of a person or a data about somebody, so
okay,
we can get it through on behalf of that person, and it's not processed one.
It is not processed. Okay. Yes. Sakariao. Are you there? Okay, Miracle. Unmute yourself, please.
Primary data, they are data collected by the person that wants to use it himself or herself, and he uses the data for the same purpose he collected the data, while the other one, which is secondary data, might not be the person himself or herself that went to make the analysis, but can also be used at any time for reference and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you all. I like this class. At least it's a bit interactive, and I can see that we already gone through some of those materials. I think it's good, it's encouraging, and I want you to do more. don't worry. Everything about this course, it's a very simple course. Don't take it hard. All you need is just a concept. How do we solve this? It's just a simple concept. Do you get it? So we will all have our distinction. It's possible. You don't need to scared. I'm telling you, it's just a very simple course. You don't need to be scared. And at the end of the day, you will have focus to thank God at the end of the day. So now we all give different definitions of primary data, secondary data, yes, group data, ungroup data. But let's quickly go to the material. I'll just show us something quickly because of our time. Okay, now we have this data. Now, one of the things you need to know is, look at this, because some of us, you can do the same mistake. The person that told us that group and ungroup, no. The type of data we have is either is primary or is secondary. Please, Asha Oludo, right on my screen. So, like that, we can actually use that to be able to control ourselves. Are you getting it? So, for example, one of the things we need to do, for those of us that are writing on the screen, please, can you please stop it? Your hand before I stop you finally here. So we have so many things that we need to check. We have primary data, we have secondary data. You already gave us the idea, but the major thing is who is that? Please mute yourself. Thank you. Now, for secondaries, for primary data, they can ask you to give example. For example, if I give you, I'm there personally, I want to know what is your salary? Or I want to know who are those people involved? How many people are, okay, during the census, let me ask this question. During the census, if you are taking the census of a thing, are we taking primary data or secondary data during the census? Can we categorize census as a primary data?
It's primary data.
Is it primary or secondary?
Data.
Primary
data.
Primary data.
Primary data.
Okay. Now, let me give us another one, because we are the one that one. Now, look at it. It's already there. But for the secondary data, they have advantage. Look at this. They said the various methods of collecting primary data include survey, interview, observation, questionnaire, and experiment. Survey means I want to be sure. Are you guys enjoying the class?
Oh, yes, perfect.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
That is primary data.
Yes, sir.
That is primary data now. I just collected one. If I want to know that you are enjoying the class, all I need to do, I'll just say, okay, if you are enjoying the class, okay, let's do this, all of us. If you are enjoying the class, type Y. If you are not enjoying the class, type N. If you are enjoying the class, type yes. If you are not enjoying the class, type no. Don't say because you know my name, I don't know your name, don't bother yourself. We are collecting data. Are you getting it? We are collecting data. Okay. It's okay now. Now we are collecting data. That is part of primary data. I just quickly do the survey now. So if I want to know, another thing I can do is, if I can also use questionnaire, I can do the interview. I can just call you guys on a random. That, oh, hello, Yaya. What happened in the class yesterday? Do you enjoy it? Or can you tell us one of the things, blah, blah, blah. And the guy will tell me, I'm doing an interview. That is primary. Or I observe that people used to be, we are 200 and above. You are observing something. Or probably you are doing experiments. You are measuring something in the lab. That is primary data. Remember, you are the one doing it and you are reading, you are taking the record immediately. Nobody is doing it for you. Not that somebody sent it from somewhere. So anything they send from somewhere or they've already processed is no more primary data. Just take note of that. Once it's processed, it's no more primary data. Let's take note of that. So for secondary data are always collected from published source. Is it from textbook, from gazettes, from magazine, from newspaper? The number of accidents on our road, if you go to police, they will tell you, yes, Friday.
Sorry, sir, to just cut short that discussion. From the primary data, you said anything that is not processed and sent to someone is still primary data. So let me take, for example, I collected data on behalf of WHO, right? I did not do anything to the data. As collected, I submitted it to them like that. Can that data be classified as primary or secondary?
Did you process the data?
Not yet processed, just collected on their behalf.
Aha. Who sent you?
I'm doing a project currently, for example, and I needed to share that data to other sources for their own analysis. To those people, would they say it is primary or secondary? For me, I know it is primary because I collected them on my own. But for WHO and other body, will I say it's secondary for them or primary?
That is why you need to be, the guideline will determine. For example, if you want to, as a WHO personnel, for you to get me the primary data, or for you to send the data to me, probably I gave you what I want. Okay, I need the number of people infected with malaria in Oyo State. I need the number of meningitis. We design the survey together. We send you to the field. You collect remember, it's not yet processed.
Yes, sir.
If it is processed, that is when we just give you process in what? Okay, when we are saying process, what does it mean?
Okay, when we say process, we're talking about after you've collected data, you try to analyze total number of these collected, you know the number and you put it aside. You want to know the number of male that participated in the survey, you put it aside. Number of female, it helps you to make your decision and then you need to do whatever you want to do with it.
So what do we call that? It's already secondary at that point.
Yes.
If it is raw data coming from the source, it's not necessary I must be on the field. If I want to give you questionnaire, all of you now, I just have a questionnaire or I have a Google form. I just send it on the platform. Please fill the Google form. You can share the Google form with other person. Remember, I'm not there, but I'm the one that designed it. But I've not filled it. I've not processed it. It's still primary at that point. Okay, remember, WHO is not a human being. It's an organization. They send people out. They ask for information. except if you process it most times. Let's go to the material again. Please, guys, mute yourself. Mute yourself. Okay. If you look at this particular one now, now let's look at this. The second one is that the population of primary school pupils in the state of the country to allow federal government to plan. Remember, federal government is not one person, but they have to send people on the field to go and get us the number. They are doing pupils, they are feeding students in the school. They actually have the number to plan with. Not that they will just put the rice on the and be cooking the rice. No, they need the number. And that is the S. Please mute yourself, guys. So, for the secondary, age distribution is also part of it. Age distribution. Is also part of it. So, and how do we process? What are the things do we need? Look at what they call it. It's a secondary data are second-hand data. Not that because you are the one that collected it and you give someone, it has turned to second-hand. Have you processed it? Let's take note. Is it already in public domain? Is it already published? Or I've already, it probably is published in textbook or journal, or is it a gazette? Is it already gazette? Let's take note of that. They said these are the points, how the data was collected. These are the points that we need to know. Please, I want you guys to take your time and go through some of those things, because we are still coming back to data collection. What are the, okay, patience to raise up your hands. Patience, any question? Williams. Okay, let's continue. We have primary and secondary school data list. We have the characteristics, we have advantage, we have disadvantage. Please, I want you to take your time and also read some of those information. They are very germane and they will help you. For example, they can ask you, which is not out of the following, which is not the advantage of secondary data in this? Abosede, you raise up your hand. Any question?
We can't see your screen, sir. It's covered.
Yeah. Is it covered now?
Yes, sir.
No, it's not.
I don't think so. It's not covered from my end.
Please check your network, please. It's not covered.
You need to check your site and check your phone properly, because everything is fine at my own end.
It's fine here. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we have the advantage, we have disadvantage. What is the advantage of primary data? What is the advantage of secondary data? One of the advantage of secondary data is they are very inexpensive. That is, remember, you are not the one that process it. It's opposite of primary data. Primary data, you will be the one to go to the field. If you ask Friday now, that gave us an example of WHO, we can ask, okay, Friday, can you unmute yourself? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us, what does it take to go to the field and collect data for WHO?
So first, you need to recruit the field staff that will be doing the survey. Second,
I can't hear you very well. Can you speak louder so that people can hear?
The first thing is to recruit the field personnel that will be doing the survey collection. And after that, we need to train them. That also costs a fortune. And then transporting them to the location where we want to collect the data is also part of it. And then we pay them a stipend for doing that kind of job.
That is okay, fine. Thank you. Now, you can see that is why the primary data is expensive. You can see secondary data, for example, now, some of us will go to internet. Okay, I can do this in the GIF now. Let me just do this. If you really want to know the number of COVID-19 in our country, remember, you are not the one that collected the data. Somebody else did. Okay, let me just go here. I said WHO. Let's just Google them. Let me just say worldometer. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is what I'm just giving you an example. Now, I'm not the one that collected this data. Somebody else did. These are the secondary. They did this on behalf of the nation. You can see. These are the process data we are talking about. They've collected the number. Okay, how many vaccine doses have been administered in total? We have it here. You can see. If I really want to know the chart about all the countries, or let's say United Kingdom, or let's say Nigeria. Let's go to Nigeria now. If you want to go to Nigeria, you will see the list what we have in Nigeria. So these are the sites. You are not the one that did this. You can see WHO is talking about. Look at this data now. This is for global. This is for Europe. This is for Africa. So we have different, these are the, what we call the process. They already process this data. As a matter of fact, some softwares are there that as they are using it, they enter into the system and they are seeing it immediately. These are the process, these are the graphs. Or the basic of what we are talking about is still under this. If you want to see the table, the tables are here. Look at the table. It's a processed one. You are not the one that collected this data. So these are example of, look at Nigeria now. Nigeria is here. We want to know. Let's look at the Nigeria, what is happening in Nigeria. This is what is happening in our country. Yes, we can see. So I'm just giving us an example of what can happen when you are collecting those data. So let's take note of that. So that one is not expensive because I'm not the one that processes it. I can just pick the information and tell you. Now, apart from collecting data from primary, you still need to go ahead and process that data to become secondary, to be able to make decisions for policy maker. We use those data for policy purpose. The sources of data, we have. Who is raising up the hands? Wada, any question?
You come here. Yes, sir. As we are discussing the importance of secondary data that is cheap and all that, inaccurate information could be advantage.
Inaccurate? Can you? I can't hear you very well.
Stay well now. You are shaking yourself. You're disturbing me.
Okay. No problem.
On the screen, sir.
Okay. Now, who can tell us another advantage or disadvantage of secondary data? Let's talk. For secondary data, what is the disadvantage? Anybody? John, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, one of the disadvantages of secondary data could be that inadequate information, because if the people who took the primary data make any mistake, then the secondary data's information will not be correct.
Good. Okay, for Lashade, right? Popola. Another disadvantage of secondary data is what?
Just like he said, inadequate information, when it's already posted, just like the information of the COVID that he used as an example. If they have made an error for getting the figure right, it's already been posted there, people have seen it, so to pull it down, it won't be reliable for people to trust the source of the information.
Okay, that is lack of trust.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. Now, Williams, Patience, what are you trying to say? Unmute yourself. Or lower your hand if you don't have anything to say, please. Okay. Opaleye Jadet.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah. For the disadvantage, we have no control over the quality of the data.
Correct. You have no control. Anything they publish for you is what you see. You cannot tell the validity of that particular thing. You don't know whether it's reliable or not. But you just have to use it because it's not your voice. Okay, for example, now, if I say, okay, in my Gazette, we have this as a Gazette. You are not the one that put it there. You cannot say yes. You cannot say 100% you are okay with it. You just have to use it and go. Some years ago in Nigeria, something happened. Some shares were selling at a very high rate. Unknown to us that some people are doing some backdoor manipulation to that data. So at the end of the day, when the secret leaked out, we are able to discover that no, this share is not what they are talking about. They have to reduce the price and everything crash. So that is, you remember, if you are now using that secondary data as an analysis, what will happen to it, please? Will you say you are okay with it? No. Godwin, you want to say something? Unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Okay.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Yes, one of the disadvantages of secondary data is the data may not be detailed. For instance, the data may be too wide for me. If I want to cover maybe a particular location, maybe a community, and I go to the internet to collect the data of the entire state, then I will not be able to get that of the community I want to do. That is one of the disadvantages.
Thank you. The data might not be detailed. I can see on the chart, reliability on the data, lack of control, misleading. Those data can mislead you truly. Because if care is not taken, remember you are not the one that collected the data. I can sit down at the corner of my room and cook one data for you and say, this is the data I have. Azan Ibrahim, please mute yourself. Okay, Rachel Kazim.
Morning, sir.
Morning. Please speak louder.
When the data is not updated regularly.
Yes, outdated data. Because if you are still using 1987 data in this 2022 data, in this 2022, you are in trouble. So meaning that those outdated data, it's a problem. Are we getting it now? So we have series of examples. Please, let's take note. Know the difference between primary and secondary. That is why, that is the purpose of this class. So we have, okay, what is disadvantage of primary data? Disadvantage of primary data. If you know it, Toby, disadvantage of primary data, please. Okay.
Time
Anna,
consuming.
disadvantage of primary data.
Time consuming.
Time consuming. Wow. Time consuming. That is a great one. For example, if you have a time ban for a particular project, and you are the one looking for data all over, people can decide not to fill the form. You cannot do anything for them. Okay. Lack of funds. Somebody put it here. It's a lack of funds, which is true. If you don't have the funds to carry out that particular project, it's always a problem. So, go again. I've not called you. Abimbola Tope. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, just like Friday explained the other time. So primary data can be very expensive.
Very expensive. Okay, thank you. Iwuchuku. Can you say something, Lydia? Iwuchuku. Rejoice. Yes. Okay.
Primary data can be expensive and very stressful.
Can be stressful. Can be stressful. And can be stressful. Yes. Expensive, stressful. Chidima.
It can be expensive and frustrating while collecting. People may decide not to give.
People might decide not to give you. Exactly. Exactly. People might decide not to give you. But what about forceful information? Can we express forceful information through the primary or not? Yes. Okay, Friday.
Let me give a very simple example.
Okay, Ebele said she wanted to say it. Okay.
So I encountered a very simple problem in Lagos. That should be in November.
Please
we
met. Let's hear it.
In Lagos, precisely in Papa, we were made to carry out a survey there, and then because people felt like this is going to be related to political survey, they refused to give us those data. So at the end of the day, because we had to attach some incentive to that survey, many of them came out to want to participate just because they want to collect this survey. And at the end of the day, we discovered 80% of information we gathered that day ended up to be false. So it could be falseful because they just want to participate and get those incentives that you're giving them.
Wow. Okay, that's a nice experience. Thank you. Now, Rejoice Balami. You said? Sadiq.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Ebeli.
Okay, all right, sir. Let me expatiate more on the forged information. I think that is one of the disadvantages of the primary data, because you take, for example, some students carrying out research in order to meet the deadline of their research being submitted. They can just go to the corner of their room and just, fill in all those questionnaires being given to them. So I believe forged information is one of the disadvantages of primary data, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, John.
Okay. Yes, sir. Still on the forged information, I have a very good experience because I work in a restaurant as the manager. So I was asked to provide a recipe of all that they need to cook a particular food. And because they don't want to give me the right one, because they thought after giving me, we'll use it for something else, they gave me another. But I don't have another. I don't have an idea in it, so they gave me something else, which I now documented as the recipe of the company, which it was a wrong one.
Wow.
That is very, it's a big disadvantage to the primary data.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your experience. Okay. So, Ozeni Sadiq.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, go ahead.
My contribution is lack of security. People might not want to be giving data because of insecurity. They might be saying that they want to show information forward. It might be dangerous to their community, to themselves, or so.
Okay, I think I have idea of what he's saying. Number one, remember data sharing as the law, and which we must also respect. Anywhere you find yourself, I can decide to open my mouth to tell you anything. So what happened at that time is because of our people that are already misused that opportunity by manipulating people, getting the data for them, manipulate them, and use it for something else. For example, you said you want to know the number of people that are homeless. You get the data of those homeless people. You use it. You said you want to use it to assist them. And you use it. Please, if you are not, some of you are not, especially the guys, if you don't wear your clothes, please off your video or dress properly, please. This is public and this is going on YouTube. So please try as much as possible, dress well anytime you are in the class. I've told you, both men and women, please. Thank you. So you can see what I'm saying, that you collected the data. Maybe you have 50,000 homeless people in Lagos. You send it to various organizations. They sponsor you to build a house for them. Do you eventually build the house? You take the picture, you do the video, you do everything. You do a kind of documentary. People talk. But at the end of the day, what happened to the money? So these are the people, these are the things. And if such people find out later, do you think when you approach them, they will give you another data? No way. So I want us as a leader, anywhere we find ourselves, let's be sincere, not because of today, because of what we are discussing. We are where we are today because we lack data in the country. So let's try as much as possible, be sincere. When you collect the data for people giving birth, use it for the purpose. Except with the concept of those other people you are collecting for, their concept. If you tell them this is what we want to use it for, be sincere, and I think it will fine. So, Akpanishile, Esther, any comments? Any comments? Okay, Queen Regina. We can't hear you. Oh yeah, unmute yourself now. I'm sorry, we can't hear your audio. You are not connected to the audio. Remove your earpiece. Yeah, good morning. Yes.
Yes, sir. I said somebody can just give or promise what they feel like.
Good morning, sir.
Of course.
Akpanishile, just hold on. Let's hear the Regina. Let's hear Regina. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I just want to ask divide a little. We are talking about numerical data. It's on my material. Do we have anything like alphabetical data?
You see, when they said numerical data, they are just referring to counted, what you can count. Now, if I ask you now, everybody, let's do something. I'll just quickly give you an example. Now. On the chart, just give us your date of birth. Your date of birth. I'm not saying your year. Just give me the date of birth. For example, I'm February 2nd. So yes, I can see November 18, November 12. Oh, who is February 2nd? You must pay me for that. So I can see.
Favor.
Yes, sir. You just mentioned me, sir.
I'm the one that mentioned it first. So you have to pay me for that. So let's make, okay. Yes, I can see now. December 12, 27. Yes. Now, you can see that these are counted one. You can account for this. Can you measure, apart from you pour water, can you count, apart from you put the water in the sachet, can you count the color? How many red is, apart from is in the box, or apart from you apply it something? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So, apart from that, can you do it? You can't do it. So you cannot do that for any other person to do what you are saying. So these are the, I don't know whether I'm communicating now.
Yes,
Do you get it now?
Yes.
So that is the major thing. So what you cannot count, anything you cannot count is non-numerical data. That's why it's not the issue of alphabet. For example, if you collect the data, you will see assigned the number for it. We call it coding. That is, if I have the data, if I have, let's say, I have, for example, some people say January, February, March. I may not be able to code January, February, March, but I know I have 12 months. For January, I can say my January is 1, my February is 2, my March is 3. Are you getting the idea now? So
Yes, sir.
I will number it like that. That is coding. Meaning anytime you see 1, I'm talking about January. Anytime you see 12, I'm talking about December. Remember, they are alphabetical, but I've already transformed them. I coded them so that I can use number in order to do it. Okay. Have I answered your question, Regina?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome. Akpanishile, over to you. Unmute yourself. Akpanishile Esther, are you there? Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Esther. Akpanishile, unmute yourself.
Oh no, I thought of it. That's 30 minutes in there.
Okay. We can't hear you if you are talking to us, please. Unmute yourself. Okay. You can send the text. Unmute yourself.
Probably she's not there because we have been. Probably she's not there.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
left.
Oseni. So I believe we all know what it means. We know the difference between primary data, secondary data. We know the advantage, we know disadvantage. So if you have any other question you want to ask, I would love to take 1 or 2 questions then before we call it a day. I hope the class is not boring. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We enjoyed the class.
Okay, don't worry, we're enjoying more. So by next class,
Very interesting class.
Gradually, we are moving towards our. This is only the theory aspect. We all know we have the material, and this is the only theory aspect we have. So others will be calculation. I want to beg you, get your notes. In my class, you'd write, please. It's for your own good. I don't have any exam to write. I hope you know. So you are the one who want to write the exam. You are the one who want to do the thing. My own is just to see, to mark and record, and that's all. So for you to have better idea, I think we all need to be on the same pace. Make sure you write. Make sure you write. All these jotting, they have a lot to go. Then for those of us, if you have any past question, previous question on this module, send it to me personally. If you have it, you have my number. My number is on the WhatsApp. You can just forward it to me. I will appreciate it. Is that okay? So that from then we will be using the question, we'll be treating the question.
You can still call the number for us, sir, please.
I don't need to call it now. If you're on the WhatsApp, it's the same number.
Sorry, sir. Do you mean past questions for exams?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
You are welcome.
I don't know why this student did not wear his clothes. It's so bad.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much for